Go immediately, yes, right now, because the quiet sound in your chest isn't anxiety, it's a bell being struck in a high place, and your name is vibrating in the rafters of heaven like a silver note. The Archangel has summoned you. A message is waiting, sealed with a mark that matches the birth scar on your spirit, the one you've always felt when you were in danger or at a crossroads. Open it quickly before it's too late, because this is the door that only opens once per season, and this season is brief, and the winds are already changing the angle of the hinge. You have wondered if signs are real. Consider this the sign that brings all other signs under oath. Consider this the call you knew would come on a strange day, at a stranger hour, with a feeling like you're standing in a thunderstorm but your clothes are dry and your hands are sparking with memory. The letter is not paper, it is timing. The ink is not black, it is clarity. The seal is not wax, it is courage. You have feared missing your moment, don't. Put your hand on your heart and feel the 3 knocks, one for what you lost, one for what you learned, one for what is landing. You do not need to be perfect to open it, you need only be present. Close your eyes for one breath. Hear the clasp. It was forged from every almost that almost broke you and every not yet that almost convinced you to shrink. You will not shrink. You will not apologize for the volume of your calling. There is lightning in the hallway of your future, but it is friendly lightning, the kind that strikes chains and turns them into shining necklaces of testimony. The Archangel stands where fear pretended to be the boss. He is taller than the dark rumor of your worst week and quieter than your best prayer. He is not late. He is never late. He has waited until you could hear the difference between panic and prompting, and now you can. So here it is, the seal bears a sword crossed with an olive branch, and a number, 163, resting at the hilt like a compass. Remember that number, it isn't a code to decode, it is a drumbeat to keep. When doubt rattles the windows, whisper 163, and feel the room straighten and the floor become faithful again. Open it quickly, the message will not expire, but your hesitation will try to spend its counterfeits. We will not let it. Be brave right now. Bravery is simply truth spoken at the volume of your soul. You unfasten the seal and the room brightens by one invisible notch, as if someone lifted a lampshade from the moon. What you open is not a scroll of rules, but a map of momentum. The first line rises like heat over a road. I appoint you to the hour you are already living. Your name appears, not the one on your ID but the one your courage answers to. The Archangel's script is clean, blade straight, with edges that refuse to compromise with lies. It tells you that protection is not a fence around your life, it is a wind at your back that makes your steps feel more like belonging and less like begging permission to exist. It shows 3 stations on the map. Station 1, remember. Station 2, reclaim. Station 3, release. At Station 1, you are asked to remember the last time you survived something you were sure would swallow you. A detail surfaces, the smell of rain on a parking lot, the click of a lock, the way one friend texted at the exact minute your mind tried to sign papers with despair. That survival was not luck, it was escort. At Station 2, you reach for what fear lifted from your pockets, your confidence, your sense of timing, your right to want good things without apologizing to ghosts. Take them back. The Archangel is not negotiating, he is supervising the inventory of your return. At Station 3, you release the stories that were only true when your world was small. You do not hate them, you retire them with honor, the way a soldier folds the flag of a completed battle. The letter says you are encircled. The word encircled flares and expands, becomes a geometry you can feel. It is not a bubble that pops, it is a ring that strengthens under pressure. It does not isolate you, it escorts you into rooms where your voice has a reserved chair. The Archangel instructs you to do a simple act in moments of static: uncross your arms, keep your shoulders low, and let your jaw unclench as if you just forgave the day. Then breathe in for a slow count of 1, 6, 3 and exhale longer than you think you should, like lowering a heavy curtain over a scene that's finished. On the exhale, say quietly, "Stand with me." You won't hear boots, you'll feel alignment. Your phone may buzz, your timeline may tempt, your memory may bargain. Stay with the breath. The letter warns that fear will disguise itself as urgency and try to outrun wisdom. Let wisdom lead. Protection is not only angels surrounding you, it is you refusing to sign contracts with counterfeit urgency. The Archangel places a mirrored coin in your palm, a token for recognition. When lies come to collect, show them their reflection. They'll forget what they were after. The letter ends with a phrase etched so deeply the page feels carved: "You are not late, you are placed." You close your eyes and feel the placement like a seatbelt clicking at exactly the right second, as the car of your purpose merges into the open lane. The next fold of the message is an action sheet, simple, human, doable, made for today, not someday. At the top it says, "Do 3 small obediences before sunset." Obedience here doesn't mean punishment, it means alignment, like tuning a guitar string back to pitch. First, make the call you've postponed because your heart didn't want to hear either yes or no. The Archangel says the worst answer is not no, the worst answer is silence stretched into a story that steals your week. If you cannot call, write the message. If you cannot write, draft it and breathe 163. Second, put something back in order that you've been stepping around: your desk, the email that needs a boundary, the apology that still shines in your throat like a coin you forgot to spend. Order attracts instruction, clutter mumbles. When you clear a surface, notice how your brain stands taller inside your skull, like a lighthouse unwrapped. Third, name the threshold. Say out loud, "This is a threshold," because naming dispels vagueness, and vagueness is the fog where old agreements try to keep their chairs. The Archangel points to the oldest agreement you ever made with fear, the one that whispers, "Stay small and you won't be targeted." It never protected you. It only pre-shrunk your dreams in cold water. Tear it up. How? Replace it with the shortest true sentence you can carry all day: I am permitted. Permitted to ask. Permitted to act. Permitted to prosper without auditioning your pain for critics. The letter flashes a memory of you as a child, closing your hand around a small light and thinking you had to hide it to keep it. You don't. A hand that hides a light also smothers it. Open your fingers. The light does not flee, it learns the room. The Archangel steps closer, you feel it as a clean gravity, like the floor becoming more serious and the walls forgetting how to echo. He touches the part of your timeline where betrayal wrote itself in permanent marker and says, "This too becomes ink for your authority." Not revenge, not denial, authority, the quiet kind you can't counterfeit because it costs what it costs and pays what it pays. You sense a contour of next steps forming, no fireworks, just a path that doesn't apologize for existing. The letter refutes a common lie, that you must be fearless to move. You do not. You must be accompanied. You are. And then a practical note appears, handwritten in the margin: if the room is loud, find a corner; if the day is chaotic, assign your courage a time. At 9:11, it says, "I will pause, inhale 163, and tell the day what we are doing." You don't wait for confidence to come home, you give it the address by speaking it. The paper warms in your hands like a mug. Outside, a siren fades. Inside, your pace evens, and you realize that for the first time in weeks, your future feels like a place with a ceiling you can reach and windows you can open. Another layer of the message reveals a simple emblem repeated like a watermark: the sword and the olive branch. The sword is not for fighting people, it is for cutting ties to scripts that don't belong to you. The olive branch is not for pretending everything is fine, it is for choosing repair and reality over performance. Together, they mean this: truth with kindness, boundaries with blessing, clarity without cruelty. The Archangel gives you a 7-day pattern to practice so protection becomes a rhythm, not a rescue. Day 1, clean a promise. Find one commitment that went dusty and either fulfill it or release it with honor. This primes your life to hold weight again. Day 2, feed the gate. Put one good thing in your body and one good sentence in your mind before you check anyone else's weather. Day 3, name the wolves. Write the 3 fears that try to look like logic, touch them with the sword: not mine, not now, not true, and then hand them an olive branch: I hear you, but I lead you. Day 4, choose a corner to beautify, a shelf, a folder, a schedule block, because beauty lowers static without a fight. Day 5, practice an unapology. Speak one desire without the word sorry hiding behind it like a stagehand. Day 6. Move toward a person of peace. Text, call, or sit with them until your nervous system remembers what safe feels like in real time. Day 7. Keep Sabbath in your way. 10 minutes of no doing, just being, with a hand on your heart, counting 163, telling your hours they are not prey. During these 7 days, the Archangel will bring to mind one doorway you believed was sealed. It isn't. The handle was just higher than fear told you it was. Stretch. Reach. Turn. If it opens to a hallway, walk. If it opens to a field, plant. If it opens to a room with your name on the chair, sit and stop auditioning for your own life. You will notice resistance trying to recruit you back into frantic scrolling and prophecy by panic. Smile at it the way you smile at a street sign that no longer applies to your route. You are on the highway of your assignment now. The letter closes with a benediction that feels like someone straightening your collar before you go on stage, where your peace where enemies expect your fear. This is not defiance, it is design. The Archangel's shadow crosses the floor, and even his shadow is bright. He does not promise an easy week, he arranges a meaningful one. You will not waste yourself on counterfeit urgency. You will spend yourself on what answers back with fruit. When the siren of distraction calls, you will not sprint. You will check your map, breathe 163, and take the turn your courage already highlighted hours ago. And if the old ache taps your shoulder and asks to speak to the manager of your worth, you will hand it the mirrored coin. It will see itself and forget its script. You will remember yours. The letter begins to fade, but one line remains burning like a coal under clear glass, alive, waiting. You think it's over, but then a sound moves through your ribs, a sound like breath turning into thunder. The Archangel speaks again, not from the sky, but from inside your heartbeat. This is your confirmation. You were never ordinary. You were delayed only to be delivered into precision. Every scar begins to glow faintly, not in pain but in proof. You realize that every season of waiting was architecture, every disappointment, a redirected beam in the cathedral of your purpose. The message was never about emergency, it was about emergence. What felt like the end of your rope was actually the beginning of your reinforcements arriving. The Archangel shows you an image, a bridge made of light connecting two cliffs, past and future, and you standing exactly at the center, holding the sword in your right hand and the olive branch in your left. The sword hums with truth, the branch breathes with forgiveness, and the wind between them sounds like your own name being sung in relief. He says, "Go immediately," again, but this time it's not panic, it's permission. Go immediately into the life that fits your spirit's actual size. Go immediately into clarity before confusion writes another false prophecy. Go immediately into your calling before comfort convinces you it's safer to sleep. You are not being warned, you are being awakened. This is not the end of peace, it is the start of power that doesn't apologize. Heaven does not call the perfect, it calls the ready. And you are ready. You've survived the storm long enough to learn the pattern of lightning. Now use that pattern to light others' paths. The Archangel places his palm above your head, and the air thickens like honey. He marks your crown with 3 words: protected, positioned, prepared. Then he steps back, and you see that every trial behind you was training you to carry the voltage you're holding now without burning out. The final instruction appears across the remaining page like handwriting made of sunlight. When fear comes, stand tall and whisper, "I've already been summoned." That phrase is your shield. Every time life tries to test your timing, remember the code, 163, the rhythm of divine alignment, 1 source, 6 wings, 3 promises. 1. Your origin. 6. The reach of protection around you. 3. The holy pattern of beginning, middle, and redemption. Keep that rhythm in your breath, in your decisions, in your quiet defiance of despair. The Archangel does not disappear, he simply becomes the light inside your discernment. The call is no longer external, it lives in you now. You look around, and nothing has changed, yet everything has shifted. The room is still your room, but the gravity has new rules. The air feels hired by purpose. You realize this wasn't just a message, it was a recruitment. Heaven didn't ask you to believe blindly, it asked you to remember boldly. And as the light fades, you feel one last whisper against your ear. The next miracle will not be random. It will be your response. The letter folds itself shut, dissolves, and the sound of wings recedes into silence. Only your heartbeat remains, steady, electric, eternal. You have been summoned. You have opened it in time. And from this moment forward, nothing that belongs to you will be delayed again. The silence after the Archangel's departure isn't emptiness, it's space being rewritten around you. The walls hum faintly, and for a moment you wonder if the room itself remembers your name. Something unseen is rearranging, the air grows clear and calm, as if a storm had just left but cleaned everything on its way out. You realize now, the letter was not merely given to you, it was activated through you. When you opened it, your agreement became light. And now, that light is folding into your choices, your words, your movements. You are no longer waiting for a sign, you are the sign. You carry a seal that moves unseen but unmistakable, protection that travels faster than doubt. The Archangel's voice returns, quieter now, but closer, like a thought made audible. You must walk forward with these 7 affirmations, he says, for they are not just words, they are keys that unlock the gates of divine timing. Say them, live them, and the road will recognize your steps. I am summoned, not shaken. When the day feels unstable, when news breaks your calm, remind yourself, you are not here by accident. You are a deliberate response from heaven to a problem on earth. The tremors you feel are not threats, they're invitations for your courage to speak. My fear is just the echo of growth. Every time fear rises, see it as a sound wave from your next level bouncing off the walls of your old limits. Do not silence fear, outgrow it. You cannot drown if you learn to breathe deeper than panic. I am guarded by assignment, not by walls. Protection is not about isolation, it's about alignment. You are guarded by purpose, not paranoia. Nothing meant to destroy you can recognize you anymore, because your frequency has changed. You now vibrate in truth, not trauma. Peace is my power source. Do not chase calm, command it. Peace is not what happens when the noise stops, it's what happens when you remember who you are while the noise continues. The Archangel's shield is peace. It doesn't fight chaos, it silences its permission to rule. I am the bridge between heaven and action. The miracle you're waiting for is waiting for your participation. When your hands move, heaven coordinates. When you speak, angels translate. The bridge is not outside you, it's built every time you choose faith over fatigue. Delay is preparation, not denial. Every pause that frustrated you was a calibration of precision. You were not being ignored, you were being fitted for endurance. Divine timing is not late, it's layered. The Archangel reminds you, I do not arrive after the storm. I arrive through it. I am already walking in victory. Victory is not an event, it's an atmosphere. It is not what happens at the end, it's what you bring to the beginning. Stand in it now. Carry it before evidence appears. The universe aligns fastest with those who already behave like the promise is fulfilled. The Archangel's presence settles like soft thunder under your skin, then begins to withdraw, not as absence but as transfer. He leaves his essence where your doubt used to live. The sword is now memory, the olive branch, wisdom. Together, they shape a new rhythm in your soul, a pulse that matches heaven's tempo. When you rise tomorrow, he says, the light will recognize you differently. Even time will slow when you speak truth. A faint glow outlines your fingertips. It doesn't burn, it blesses. You stretch your hand toward the unseen and feel something vast smiling back. Every loss that once felt like punishment now reveals itself as pruning. Every silence you endured was rehearsal for discernment. Every heartbreak carved a deeper capacity for glory. The Archangel's voice softens into a whisper that feels like wind brushing through golden curtains. Go now. The world is waiting for the version of you that believed the letter. Carry the code, 163, and let it open what hesitation locked. You are no longer summoned to survive, you are summoned to shine. You inhale deeply. The room exhales with you. The pages vanish, but their imprint lingers, a warmth at the center of your chest, pulsing like dawn behind ribs. You understand, the call wasn't just for you, it was through you, for every life your courage will touch next. The light hums once, and then all is still, except the certainty that from this moment forward, you are never unguarded again. The air around you softens, turning still and bright, as if heaven itself is pausing to listen. You feel lighter, steadier, no longer waiting for a sign because the sign now beats inside your chest. The Archangel's voice fades into a calm whisper, "You have answered the call. From this moment, walk as if the storm serves you." The room feels wider, time slower, and you sense that the same power that summoned you now walks beside you. No flashing lights, no thunder, just a quiet authority settling in your spirit. You are protected, positioned, and prepared. Whatever is coming, it is not here to break you, it's here to reveal what has already awakened within you. The message closes with one final pulse of warmth against your heart: go. The world will change the moment you do. And then, only stillness remains, holy, silent, infinite, carrying your name like light across the unseen.